Good evening. Welcome to another Unplugged live session. I'm just waiting for Gabriel to join us. Sergio might not be able to join us today, but, well, Gabriel's here. Let me add. I already hear some sound from Gabriel, but no image yet. Let me try again. Here we are.
Hello, Lunel. Good evening.
How are you?
I'm doing well. I hope everyone is doing well too.
Well,
Good
here we
evening,
are.
Pedro Romão. Romão, if you don't know, it means pomegranate. Romão. Quase. Just kidding.
So, how are you, Gabriel? Feeling good?
I'm good. I'm doing quite well. It's quite warm. It's quite warm indeed. We had a warm day. We had a beautiful day actually. For tomorrow, we are waiting for the remains of the Leslie. So let's see if we're gonna have some rain here. Of course, the rain is always annoying, but we are praying for rain. And well, that's it. Well, I'm gonna stay at the office, so it's not a big deal if rains a bit.
Yeah,
But yeah.
I was at the Algarve this morning, so I went to Lagos, and it was considerably warm still, but
Yes.
well, a bit foggy here and there, and some clouds coming in. So let's hope that in fact the rain shows up, because it seems like last week the forecast was much worse, and not much happened over there. So
No, and maybe now the forecast is not that bad, and then we can have some loss
yeah,
of rain. So we
let's
never know. The weather is so unpredictable. Okay, guys. So what we're gonna talk today? What we're gonna talk about it?
Well, as I've posted early, let's discuss some events, some things that can be done in the winter. Okay, a lot of people think that there's nothing happening on the winter in here. That Portugal in the winter slows down. In fact, it's
Yeah.
quite a common question to be seen on some social media groups. People asking if we don't go to visit on this or that month, will it be too quiet, and there's nothing going on? Well, it's not the case. In fact, almost everywhere there's something to do, and in fact, in certain areas, I recommend to visit them in the winter instead of visiting them in the summer. Okay, and I'm just going to give some examples. Some of the monuments that get very crowded, they are great during the winter. Okay, if the sun is up, of course, it will be a bit chilly. You won't be taking pictures on shorts and t-shirts, but you are able to take great pictures. Even sometimes the blue sky and the colors end up creating great effects. I would suggest, by example, for people to try to imagine, come to Sintra in late January, early February, if the sun is up, and there's several days with some sunshine over there. Okay, the monuments are quieter. The colors are different, and people end up enjoying different experience, avoiding the crowd. So this is one of the places that probably in the winter will be way more enjoyable if it's not raining. But it doesn't rain constantly over there. So like almost everywhere in the country, we have some rain here and there, but we have some good openings with the sun shining, and it helps to visit those places. But the focus today was really to talk about some special events that can attract people. And I'm going to start by a big event that we rarely see mentioned on the travel groups on social media and such. It's happening in November. It's the horse festival, the horse fair at Gulagã. Okay, Feira do Cavalo at Gulagã. It happens in mid-November. It's normally around a week and a half, and there's a lot of events. There's a lot of stuff. A lot of people don't know, but Portugal has some very unique breeds of horses. Okay, the most known one being the Lusitano. And
Lusitano.
if you like horses, well, this is a very special event to go because it focuses a lot on the traditions. It focuses a lot on the um, things that have been done well for decades or for centuries, and you end up immersing really on the traditional culture, the traditional way of life. And this place can be paired, by example, with another great place that it's popular for people to visit. That is to go to Tomar. That is not far away. Okay, so Gulagan pretty much it's um, like 20, 30 minutes from Tomar, and it's a great place to go. So if you want to do a day trip, visit a little bit the horse festival, and then go to visit one of the places that probably you have on your list. Okay, and this is in November, so I wouldn't call it really a winter or slow season, but we know that normally it starts slowing down around
Mm-hmm.
that time, so can be a good idea. But then, we will head towards Christmas, and of course, everybody comes to Óbidos, the Christmas town. People want to come to the Christmas markets in Lisbon and in a few other places. Okay, there are some towns that even have some very unique, Christmas events, and I'm remembering
Mm-hmm.
about the town of Cabeça near Serra da Estrela. And
Mm-hmm.
this brings me again to another subject. Most people disregard, in fact, Serra da Estrela, okay, the Estrela Mountain. Even during the winter or during the summer, it's a place to visit. During the winter, the chances of having snow, or even being possible to do some skiing, the chances are big. During the summer, it's a place with beauty and nature and a lot of stuff
Mm-hmm.
to see around there. Okay, but if people are coming to enjoy Christmas over here, just going a little bit further than just the typical markets in Lisbon or in Óbidos or such. Okay, there's great stuff to be done. Meanwhile, a little bit throughout the whole country, there are different festivals related with certain kinds of foods or fruits. Um, it's pretty much in the northeast Portugal, center east and northeast Portugal. It's pretty much everywhere that people will find some events related with the chestnuts. Okay, several places promote Feira da Castanha. Several places want really to promote this seasonal fruit, and we end up having several events related with that. Okay, so these are some pointers that, for November or December, can add some uniqueness to your travels, can add some reasons to visit other areas in the country. And of course, as a couple of days or a day trip, or just adding a couple of days to the most popular places, there's a lot of stuff to be seen just outside of the major town. So for now, and focusing on the next couple of months, these are some of my suggestions. I know that, from your side, you might have a few other things. So, first of all, let me just say good evening to everybody that is joining us and commenting over here. But please, Gabriel, go ahead. What do you bring us tonight?
Well, pretty much like you said, the whole country. Just because it's a low season, it doesn't mean we shut down the country. No, this is a very old country. We've been here for a while, and Well, we are not like bears, so we don't hibernate in winter. But well, it's funny. So of course, I'm going to focus more here about the region of the Algarve because there are many people also looking specifically for the Algarve. So it worth to go to visit the Algarve in January. I in a different group this morning, I read some Canadian lady, and she was precisely asking this. I'm thinking about going to the Algarve in January. We have a good deal. Do you think it's worth to go there? And then some other people on the comments, oh, I would love to know the same. And then, of course, today I had a bit more time. And then I help the people to think, to reflect and to think about the region. Because, of course, as a local, I know, and I think most people in most Portuguese people, they know the Algarve is not just a resort. Of course, it's very popular for the summer. We have lots of resorts that they are closed during the winter. Some hotels, even some touristy-oriented restaurants. But hey, we have here almost 500,000 people living. I mean, if not official residents, but we have always people who come here for long stays. For instance, here in Albufeira, we are having more and more and more Canadian. So yeah, in the meantime, I suggest those Canadians, and I said, many Canadians, they are staying here in Albufeira, here by here. It's central, but everywhere in the Algarve, it's quite good. And then the thing is, even though it doesn't happen too many things in one place like Lagoa or Lagos or Tavira, the way we see the Algarve here, it's like a metropolitan area. So sometimes I live in Albufeira, but I go to a concert in Portimão, or I go to some fair in Faro, like it's going to happen by the end of October, by the way. So we're going to have now from October 17th until October 27th, so for about 10 days, we're going to have in Faro Feira de Santiria, so Santiria Fair, and it's the oldest one in the Algarve since 1596. So it's unbelievable, and not all, because together with this fair, there are way more events also in Faro. So it's a good option visiting Faro during the fair, and then the same fair, or more or less the same vendors, the same amusement things park also goes to Portimão. So in November we're gonna have. Well, it's maybe the second oldest fair since 1622 or so. So it's going to happen this fair also in Portimão. But we have many other small events. I know in Lagoa it's going to happen some events related with gardening and some others. We had now recently the bird watching festival in Sagres. We have the Rota do Putisco, which is the tapas route. And then, well, in short, we have many small events happening here and there. When we finish this live, then I'm going to post a link to it's a journal, Algarve Informative, and then you can check the events we are expecting for the next few months. Now, I just recall now. By the end of the year, we have a very beautiful one in Padern. If you don't know, Padern is a small village here within the Albufeira county. Very typical. We had some nice events
with
there.
With an amazing castle that most people
miss.
miss.
Yes, beautiful in the middle of the hills, and also a very original Roman bridge. So it's a beautiful area also for hiking. Padern is very popular for hiking trails along the river and the hills. So yeah, this medieval fair, it's going to happen too. But and then we have concerts, jazz concerts, Portuguese music, stand-up comedy events. So this idea that in the Algarve nothing happens in winter, this is really a misconception, because we have events. Okay, not as much as in Lisbon, not as much as in Porto, but hey, maybe during the day we have better weather. Usually we have more sunny days than in North Portugal. So yeah, it worth to visit the Algarve in winter. So please come. By the way, I've so many people, they are already booking with me, and I'm quite happy, because as a local, and well, maybe I'm not the best example, but I'm a nature lover and I love people. I keep saying this, I love people. I hate crowds. So definitely for me, the best season to explore the Algarve, it's in winter. You know, it's from now on.
Mhm.
It's from November until May. Okay, it's nice in summer. Okay, if you are a beach lover, okay, I understand it's warm. There are lots of events, but for me, this is a personal uh, choice. I'd rather to explore the winter and I run tours in the Algarve in winter. So I rather to work in winter. And many people they come here in winter and they become very well surprised because there's so much to do to explore. And of course, we still have the gastronomy
Mhm.
and the wine tastings and the orange route tours. So there's so many things to do. Lionel, go ahead, my friend.
Well, uh, let's uh, uh, let's keep on with some suggestions. And one of the things that came up in my mind, we have a lot of people that travel for a reason to go into some semi-professional competition for leisure, for some sports. I've been having people who in fact were traveling here for either the half marathon, the marathon. Next week in Cascais, this weekend there's going to be the Ironman. Okay, but one of the things that end up kind of bringing a lot of people to several cities throughout the country are the São Silvestre races.
Oh
Okay,
yes.
athletic competitions, normally around 10 kilometers. These São Silvestre races, they happen a little bit everywhere, and
Yeah.
normally they happen close to Christmas and New Year. Okay,
Hmm.
so on that time of the year. So if you are a sport enthusiast, why not to come to take part of a competition in Portugal? Um, Joining that to a week of vacation to visit a few places and of course to immerse in the local culture by participating in one of those races. Curiously, as these races are, as I would say, more semi-professional or more for amateurs. Okay, um, they're the public, people watching, they vibrate a lot with this. Okay, there's always a lot of people cheering the athletes. There's always kind of a big atmosphere around this. Okay, so it's an event that can make the journey in Portugal quite interesting during that time of the year. And then of course, the New Year's Eve, if it's something that you want to come to Portugal and spend up New Year's Eve around here, it's everywhere that you have the
Yeah.
cities. Organizing concerts, normally with a free access to the main plazas, the main squares, with some renowned artists, some fireworks. So a lot of stuff going on. In the Algarve, you have a few places
Oh yeah.
around Lisbon. There are several places. It's cool to be like on the top of a hill or in an elevation and to watch the fireworks around. Porto does that as well, and of course,
Hmm.
I'm speaking a little bit from northern Portugal as well because Sergio couldn't make it to join us today. But spending the New Year's Eve over here can be a great experience, and of course, it will help people to immerse on the welcoming community because. We love to celebrate these events. We love to I wouldn't say we love to party, but we do. Okay, and it's a fact. So we really like to attend this kind of stuff. And then we enter January, and January it's that month where most people think, oh, there's nothing going on. Well, let's talk about food. And it's common at the end of the year to have several festivals related with food, with sweets, with the chestnuts and such. In January, several locations, mostly in northern Portugal, do the called Feiras do Fumeiro, and they happen in a few places. They can even have a slightly different name. So these are normally the festivals to celebrate all of the smoked meats, the smoked sausages, okay? Because that is the tradition that people used to have in the winter, okay? And these kind of things happen in a certain time of the year because they really relate with how people lived. Okay, and people back on the days used to to grow their animals. Then they should have their meats prepared, make the sausages, and then normally during the winter, okay, as they could not harvest a lot of things from the fields, they would start consuming those products that they had prepared a few months before. So if you go to northern Portugal, and one of the most famous ones, it's Montalegre, around Boticas, you also have similar things, but there are others, okay? So if you search for this kind of Feira do Fumeiro, they occur normally around January, and those are gastronomic festivals that really deserve to be visited. Yeah, Victor just posted Montalegre. Yes, exactly. So that is one of the most famous ones, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful town as well with a beautiful castle. So that really deserves a visit. And then um, this year it's going to be a little bit later, but normally it's usually in February. I already checked. The 2025 will be the beginning of March. We have
Mhm.
Carnival, and the events of Carnival, they differ a little bit from place to place. Okay,
Mhm.
I have the chance to live not far away from one of the famous ones, Torres Vedras.
Me too.
You have the one in Lolé. Vitor, by example, has the one in Sesimbra. And there's plenty of others, okay? I'm remembering, by example, Lourdes, pretty close to here,
Mhm.
Ovar, and many others. But then we have some very special ones, and this attracts thousands and thousands of
Oh
people.
yes, yes, yes.
It's Podense, okay? Caretos de
Mhm.
Podense, that are in fact already, UNESCO classified, and that is a unique thing to attend. Okay, of course you need to prepare quite well your journey. There's not much of a accommodation over there, and there's not uh, much room in fact on the town, because the town it's very small, but it gets packed sometimes with 60 or 70,000 people just to go to watch, okay, this the carnival parade. For those who don't know, they have some colorful masks, and they wear some very colorful outfits. It's something that really it's a once in a lifetime experience to go and watch that kind of thing. Okay, so and these ones that I've been mentioning, they happen mostly in northern Portugal. Of course, throughout the country, there's other things, but this also brings to a bit to this subject, that sometimes to attend some special events, or to some special spots, okay, you need to go a little bit out of the major routes of the major cities. So it's not a bad idea to plan to stay 1 or 2 nights a little bit out of the major cities, and be close to one of these events that I mentioned, so to have the chance to enjoy and to experience this kind of tradition. So I'm pretty sure there would be a lot more. Okay, and if we research
Mhm.
events in January and February, there's plenty of
Yeah.
stuff. If you come to Lisbon, by example, there will be a lot of stuff related more with alternative music, alternative
Mhm.
cinema, that kind of thing. But there's always something to be done. So
Yes.
it's not, in fact, to consider that Portugal shuts down during these months. And sometimes, making the math, It then ends up saving some money to travel off
Oh
season.
yes.
So
Hmm.
and people enjoy it more because they are able to see stuff that normally people don't see, or the people who travel on the most regular seasons they end up not seeing. So it's always a good idea to kind of look a little bit out of the box to the most unconventional times to visit Portugal. So, Gabriel, I don't know if you want to
Yeah.
add
Well.
something else.
Yes, I'm gonna add something. I've you,
Okay.
you talked today. You talked a bit more, so you took the show today.
Yeah.
But yeah, well said. You have more events in Lisbon areas in Porto. But yeah, you touch a very nice. You touch in a point that I really like it very much because you said something like. Off season, people, locals, waiters, the people at the markets, we all have a bit more time. So
Mm-hmm.
if we are already known as a welcoming people, a warm people, well, off season, we're gonna be even more. We Off season, we even appreciate more visitors because I used to say playing here in the Algarve, we don't need more tourists in July and August. We need more tourists in January, right? So,
Exactly.
but jokes aside, it makes sense. In winter, people they have more time. You can engage more with the locals wherever you go. In the restaurant, maybe the waiter is gonna give you some tips, some suggestions. So this is gonna happen for sure. So definitely, Portugal, the Algarve, Madeira, the Azores. We have lots of things to explore in winter. And let's be honest, the weather in Portugal is very gentle if we compare with, I've been living in Germany 10 years ago, or the Netherlands, or England, or Northern Ireland, all those places, they are beautiful, but for God's sake, not in winter. You have to run away from there. So, yeah, and that's why we have so many people coming to visit the Algarve even in the off season. Actually, we have more and more and more. So the seasonality is getting smaller, and this is very good. And because we have also more people, we are having also more events. And now I'm going to say something. It's going to be funny, but even here in Albufeira, I'm not going to attend. And my daughter, she doesn't like so much too because she's very scared with these pumpkins and these ghosts. But we're going to have a Halloween party here in Albufeira. So I mean, there will be always some things to do and some things to visit. But the most important thing is don't don't please just throw away this idea that there's nothing to do in the Algarve in winter or in Portugal in general. It's simply not true. In many ways, it's the best season to visit us. Trust me. We appreciate very much too. So, well, we hope whoever is gonna watch our chat that maybe they're gonna visit us after understand that Portugal is so much more than just a summer destination like like many people they think it is. Yeah. So, well, for my side, I think we are done. Uh, well, we had here lots of people coming. Jorge, Ricardo, welcome, welcome, and Pedro Branch too. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone for joining us. And of course, Lionel, then you're gonna put
Yeah. Well,
this on YouTube, right?
I will post this on YouTube. Yes. So as soon as possible. In fact, it's a good way. In case you want to share this with your friends, you can share it from the YouTube. These lives here on the Facebook group, the majority of them will be just online for 30 days, but we are keeping them
On
for the posterity
YouTube.
on the YouTube channel. But I just want to go back to something that you just mentioned, Gabriel, to finish. You were saying that, if you are in the restaurant, the waiter might have, a little bit more time to, give you a better attention and such. And in
Hmm.
fact, sometimes even,
Hmm.
that little perk that sometimes when they are very busy, they cannot provide.
Yeah.
And one of
Hmm.
the things that I always suggest people to do, of course, if they see that, well, the person next to them has a little bit more time, it's to ask questions. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what is happening around here? What can we do around here? Is there any kind of, well, market fair, festival, those kind of things? Okay. Because just the little markets, there's some markets that are established weekly, monthly, or so,
Oh
like
yes. Yeah.
almost like the farmers markets. Okay. But those go the year round. But then there's some others like antiques, books, or well, second-hand markets, that kind of stuff that sometimes people like to attend. But always ask questions. Okay, ask the waiter. Ask someone that you met in the little cafe or whatever, because there's always something to recommend. And they can also, well, probably tell you about something unique that you didn't know. Because, well, it's always about exploring a little bit that we end up. And, well, Vitor just mentioned Feira de Azeitão, exactly. But it's just by asking questions and exploring a little bit that, well, we end up experiencing a lot more from this beautiful country. So you're more than welcome to join us during the winter on your vacation. More than welcome then join us next week on Monday. So we'll be back here with, well, other topics to discuss. And well, feel free to comment with your questions or with well, if you
Yeah.
have something, some other opinion, something that you would like to add over here. And well, we'll be back next week. Thank you for watching. I will post this on YouTube as I've told you. And well, from my side, just I'll see you back next Monday. Gabriel will be back over here, hoping
Bye
all the
bye.
best for Sergio as well. So thank you.
Bye
Good
bye,
evening. Bye
Lionel.
bye.
Bye bye, everyone. Have a great week ahead. Bye bye.
Thank you.